Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and welcome back to Brick Theory. In our previous Divers episode, I started putting the pieces together for a timeline to lay out the order of events in themes. And while it was nice tracing backwards from Divers to Pirates to Castle, I think we need to take a step further back in order to establish a foundation for the timeline. And in some cases, we can go as far back as Minifigure civilization. However, that begs the question, where do minifigures come from? In 2016, we received a new stage of minifigure life that was rarely explored before: infancy. There are two kinds of this: a baby minifigure with arms stretched out, and another wrapped in clothing. Additionally, in 2018, we also got to see an intermediate stage of childhood for figures just before adolescence. As a result, we now have a clearer image of what the developmental life cycle of an average minifigure looks like. But have minifigures always had this growth cycle? Were there any evolutionary changes to bring them to claw hands and square feet? Yep, and it's everybody's favorite topic of debate, evolution! With these LEGO minifigures, there's room for at least two theories of minifigure evolution. The first one is that minifigures could have always looked this way and had a similar path to the evolution of humans, evolving from chimpanzees long ago. This seems plausible since there was a period of monkey figures in LEGO that shared the same exact arms and legs as minifigures, and it is clear that dexterity was an important trait passed down. There are also LEGO caveman and cavewomen minifigures relating to the Homo erectus, or upright man stage, in our human evolution. Such minifigures have appeared in places like the Collectible Minifigures Series 1 and 5, the gift with purchase item Iconic Cave, and Capital City's museum display in 2018. Not to mention, the museum exhibition also implies that these cave people have lived around the time of prehistoric animals, as seen in the Arctic line of City that are also been released in 2018. So far, this theory checks out, and much like several other LEGO themes, you can correlate human history with LEGO history to get a general outline of minifigure upbringing and technology, with some fantasy elements for good measure. But that would be too easy, right? We want to make like Leo and go deeper. First theory doesn't explain this: the stage extra figures. LEGO often celebrates the anniversary of the minifigure, starting with the modern articulated minifigure in 1978. Not too long before them, in 1975, the world was met with minifigures without arms, hands, independent legs, or even faces. These stage extra figures, as they were officially called, operated in smaller scale town sets with vehicles to transport. More importantly, they appeared under the care of maxi figures under the building set with people and homemaker lines, which lasted from 1971 to 1982. Under these sets, the stage extra figures appeared as a model for infants of homemaker figures. Some of the earliest articulated minifigures of today even walked and ate with them, like in 208 Mother with Baby, 261 Bathroom, 268 Family Room, 269 Kitchen, 297 Nursery, 5233 Bedroom, and 215 This one, the 215 Red Indians, did not age well. I know they had a limited color palette for bricks at the time, but this could have been pulled off better, but I digress. So if minifigures were brought up by maxi figures, could they only exist as their parents? It doesn't seem so, since minifigures never grew up to be them. We see minifigures grow old and never change size. Does that make maxi figures aliens, or some kind of higher power? I would say yes, considering that Duplo and Friends mini dolls in the LEGO movies are treated as foreign figures to the minifigure world. By that proxy, you could also say that Belleville, Scala, even Jack Stone and Galador are extraterrestrial beings from a minifigure's perspective. And stranger than that, the modern tools and accessories that minifigures have come to use came from homemaker sets, which are better scaled with maxi figures, but not as much with minifigures. So here's what I propose for a second theory. Stage extra figures had their own civilization until an alien abduction by maxi figures. Living and growing in their homemaker world, minifigures grew to have arms, legs, facial features, and the dexterity for homemaker tools. As a result of years of reproduction, these mutations became part of the minifigure DNA and now rest as the norm. Babies will be born having appendages and smiles different from their ancestors. All the prehistoric cave people stuff just drifted forward in time. Wait, hold on, cut the music. No, maybe that's just too elaborate to be believable. I mean, sure, it sounds like a nice way to include the stage extra figures and justify a couple other things, but it is a lot of guesswork without much evidence either. It's like the Sans' Nest episode of game theory. Sometimes things don't connect just because there's a vague resemblance. There's a common phrase when explaining topics, Occam's razor, in which the shorter of two explanations is often the more plausible one. You don't have to work around it so much to justify the second explanation. So maybe it makes more sense to believe that minifigures grew from a similar ancestry than our own, and that the stage extra figures and maxi figures are just their own thing. Okay, so I'm sure by now you've picked up that this is some kind of April Fool's video, that I created an elaborate theory just to fool people into thinking I was being genuine. Well, here's the weird twist. Back when I first created this theory a few years ago, I actually did believe this was plausible. Then, when the LEGO Movie 2 came along, making the Duplo and Mini dolls out as aliens to the minifigure world, it sounded even more convincing. With that being said, it's foolish by now to state the whole era of figures we love happened because of an alien mutation. Like I said before, without enough solid pieces to confirm one way or the other, this theory is just having fun and will not carry into future timeline-based episodes. It seems more likely that the designers intend the minifigure universe to operate akin to our own, with prehistoric evolution and all that. Maybe a few changes here and there, but nothing to that other level of altering evolution. Still, this is a fun way of looking at the minifigure world as far back as possible. I think things will get more solid once we go forward into castle, town, and space, which are good foundations for the past, present, and future for most LEGO themes. Sure, I may miss some details or things may overlap depending on the media I look at, but at their core, Brick Theories are an exploration of the stories in LEGO themes. This isn't making a firm stance that proves how the themes should be played with. The LEGO Movie demonstrates all eras of time working simultaneously and in very creative ways. I'd be happy to read what other LEGO timeline theories exist, and so far from the few I have read, I like what some have proposed for an order of the space themes. It'll be a good chunk of videos to look out for, so subscribe and bell and comment what you think so far. Before I sign off, there is Brick Theory merchandise available in the links in the description below. Your support will help the series continue and at a faster pace between episodes. Thank you all very much for watching this video.